Hey Mapleton, it's Miss Dusenberry with CareerX. Just want to check in and see that you're still doing some creative things at home, so I thought I'd make a few videos and show you what I'm doing. Today, I think we'll keep it simple, and let's start with color theory and just the basics of color, because every artist needs the basics. And then we'll talk a little bit about the creative process, and then I've got a creative challenge for you. Are you ready? Let's get started. So if we're talking about color theory, see my color rainbow here on my book, The Color Sampler. Let's go over and review basic color theories, primaries and secondaries and intermediate colors. So if we start off, primary colors. We all remember primary colors being the colors that you have to have if you want to mix other colors. If you don't have the primaries, you don't have the primaries. You can't make red, yellow, or blue. So those are three super special colors. If we mix together our primaries, if I mix red and yellow, I get orange. If I mix yellow and blue, I get green. And if I mix red and blue, I get purple. And we call those colors our secondaries. If we mix our secondaries and our primaries together, we get our intermediate colors. And those are the colors that fall between our primaries and secondaries on the color wheel. There's lots to discuss when we're talking about color, and artists have to know lots of different things about colors. One of the other things you might have learned is learning about warm colors and cool colors. Warm colors make us feel warm, and cool colors kind of make us feel cold. And we kind of think of cool colors being winter colors and warm colors being summer colors. So warms are red, oranges, and yellows. Cools, greens, blues, and purples. There's lots of other things to talk about with color theory, but those are the basics. For all my friends out there that are creating and are a little bit beyond that, don't forget about those complementary colors and then color schemes. Monochromatic is a color scheme when we use all the same color, just using tints and shades, meaning lighters and darkers of that color. Then we get into higher level stuff here, guys. Analogous colors is when we use just three colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Complementary colors, when we're using colors that sit across from each other on the color wheel. Triadic, when we're using three colors that are evenly spaced. Then there's even split complementary. And in college level classes, it goes on and on and on. But we're gonna stop there. I think that's enough for your hat today. So keep those things under your creative noggin, and we're going to check in with the creative process and get to our challenge for today. Creative process can be kind of long. This is a general creative process for artists. We start out with some inspiration, we come up with an idea, sometimes we might do some research, then we start producing and gathering all of our materials. We look at what we've created, and we call that a critique. Sometimes you critique yourself, and sometimes you seek out your peers or other artists to critique you as well. Based on those critiques, you may rework your art and then reevaluate, and it goes around and around. This is a creative process circle. We're going to break it down into 4 steps today. So we're going to look at inspiration, develop, create, and reflect. And we're going to just keep it simple. So are you ready for your creative challenge? Let's go. So creative challenge. I have been inspired by all the work that I've seen some fellow artists post and some other people at home posting. And so there's this thing called the Color Wheel Challenge, and it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. And so that's my creative challenge for you today. So we got our inspiration, hearing about this Color Wheel Challenge. So our next step is to develop. I lost develop, excuse me. There we go, found it. Develop was hiding behind create. First, we got to develop a plan before you get to creating. So in developing your plan for your Color Wheel Challenge, you got to think about all the things that are in your house and all the things that are special to you, important to you, or that show who you are. Once you've kind of brainstormed that, then you're going to go into create. And you're going to create a color wheel based on the things that you find in your house. So let's take a look at our color wheel challenge right over here. Here we go. Color wheel challenge, or color wheel scavenger hunt. Now, of course, there's some rules. I'm sorry, but there's always rules, isn't there? So I want you to try to find 2 or 3, maybe even 4 things of the same color. When you only have one, it doesn't give you a very good wheel. So find things in your house, and most importantly, please make sure if you're borrowing things from brothers or sisters or anybody else that's not yours, you got to ask them first. Let them know you're doing a super cool creative challenge, and you'll give those things right back. And please be careful if you're using anything that's delicate. So your color wheel challenge, you're going to lay it all out, and then your next step is going to be to do a little reflecting. So how do we reflect when we do art? Sometimes we talk about it. Today, my challenge to you after you creating your color wheel is I want you to pick out one thing out of your color wheel that's super important to you, or that maybe tells me a little bit about who you are. So I picked out one thing out of my color wheel, and let me show you my color wheel really quick. It was kind of in our picture here, but I'll show you a better picture. So here we go. Here's my color wheel. And you can see there's lots of different things in here. There's some art things because you know I love art. There's books because I love books. Purses, love purses. There's lots of different kind of 50s memorabilia because that's kind of how my house is decorated. There's some toys, and there's a yoga block here too. That's something I do at home as well. So the scavenger hunt kind of lets us know a little bit about each other, and it will be really cool to see if you have some things that I have in my color wheel, or what similarities do we have. So your reflection for today, let's jump back to reflect, the important part of our creative process. For reflecting today, I want you to pull one thing from your color wheel, and I want you to share with me about why you picked it or why it's in your color wheel. So here's my reflect for today. Here's a tiki mug, and this is a mug that my brother made. He's out in New York, and I don't get to see him all the time, so this is super important to me and super special. He's an artist as well, kind of runs in our family, I guess. So that's your challenge for today. Before I let you go, we're going to go back to our color theory, because I want to remind you that you're going to use basic color theory for your wheel, or you can take this project and this challenge to the next level, and maybe you're going to create your color wheel by using one of our other color schemes. You can do an analogous scavenger hunt, a complementary scavenger hunt, or maybe you can do a hunt in each one and post a picture of each one. That's all I have for you today. Stay creative, keep doing stuff. I can't wait to see what you make. See you guys later.